It's imperative that you understand the importance of unconditional self-love and realizing your spiritual and your material success. When we think about love, we often think about receiving love from another person or other people, not recognizing that love first must start from within, from yourself. Now, as you think about things like success, when you think about manifestation, creating the reality that you desire, understanding your own desires and understanding consciousness versus the ego, you have to recognize that love is about a flow of energy. You see, this universe, the fabric of all that we experience, that you experience, is grounded and put together, held together by love. Because love is the intentional understanding that you are an individual who's free to basically create that which you desire. And many times, because we don't know that we have this power, that in fact we are meant to create what it is that you desire, then you get lost and you get distracted by the ego. And thus you are creating not what you desire, but what you want by way of looking at other people's wants. You see, so you're consistently going down this rabbit hole of chasing after something, right, that is tangible, that is measurable and can be valuable, but really doesn't conclude with your own fulfillment and self-realization. And see, this is how the ego, when it's not managed properly, can distract you and pull you away from your own spiritual fulfillment. You have to recognize that love is the flow, right, of the universe. It is how the universe is moving. It is why the universe moves. You have to think of love as a flow of water. And when you are observing water in nature, you see that water has a flow, right? It has a direction by which it likes to go. Even if you put something in the way of that flow of water, it's going to move around it. But sometimes you may put so many things in the way of that flow of water, thinking that you are maneuvering it, you are manipulating it, you are thus creating your own reality, that you actually put too many things in front of that flow, right? In front of that flow of water, love, thus eventually blocking it, creating a dam, causing it to stop its natural state, causing it to stop its flow. And so what happens there is then that water begins to accumulate in one spot. It begins to stagnate, right? And it begins to become dirty or corrupted, which is not its natural state. And so when you think about love, especially love of oneself, you have to recognize that love of oneself means that you allow the love of the universe to flow consistently throughout time and space, from you, through you, out from you toward other people, other things, recognizing that its natural state and that natural flow is to leave you, right, from a place of pure intention, recognizing that you will eventually receive that love back in return. So it's about understanding that the oneness of all things starts from recognizing that the love that exists, that permeates all things, starts from you and will eventually return to you because you recognize this oneness. It is not coming from a scarce mentality where you think there isn't enough to go around. Something especially love is infinite, and there is more than enough. Just when you think you don't have enough love, just when you think you have experienced a bad relationship or a bad experience with other people, and you feel like you need to protect yourself from being loving because you feel like that's going to create more harm and hurt for you, that is simply because you're coming from the ego, right? You're coming from that mindset of fear. And the ego's intention, yes, is to protect you. But sometimes when you are led by that fear, that nature of protection, it again creates a dam. It stops and impedes the flow of love and energy to flow naturally through a natural circle, right, of recycling the energy from one to another. Because ultimately we're talking about oneness of all things. What I want you to understand, though, is the self-love that you practice, will resonate and will send out a vibration out into the universe to basically replicate and reflect the love that you're giving to yourself out into the universe to be reflected back to you again. So the love that you are experiencing and wanting to practice toward oneself is going to multiply. It is going to replicate itself. It is going to show itself outward where you are giving this love and expressing and experiencing this love, right? Because it will radiate. You will vibrate on a whole nother frequency. And when you vibrate at a whole nother frequency, essentially what will happen is you will begin to vibrate higher and thus create higher quality materialization. So the higher your vibration, the higher the quality of your materialization. So you must understand that because that is the nature of cause and effect in this universe. That is the nature of the flow of love. That's just simply how it works. Even when you're not vibrating in a high frequency and you're coming from a place of lack, fear, hate, right, doubt, insecurity, there's still a flow that is happening. And that flow, again, is recycled out into the universe back to you because there is a oneness that is constant and never changes. You cannot expedite or get rid of something or, eliminate something from you thinking that it is done and over with. It will come back to you. Your job is to take any negativity, any doubts, any fears, and transform that low vibration energy and frequency and mindfully with all the tools available to you, right? Your mind, your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, your higher mind, transform that and then put that, right? Turn that into positive energy and put that out into the universe. That is what you are able to do. You cannot hold the universe responsible for doing that for you. Your job is to take ownership of your life. Your job is to take ownership of the reality that you wish to create for yourself. And that's how you do so, by taking whatever comes your way, transforming that into what you want to experience in the world, and thus taking that and pushing that out into the universe. And when you do that, guess what? Because of the cycle of, the flow of love and the energy of water, right? Because when you experience water, it goes from one state, it evaporates, turns into clouds, right? Rains down, comes back into the state of returning to a flow of water. It continues to do that over and over and over again. And however, if the water is clean, then it will continue to remain that way, right? But if the water is dirty, then it will produce, poor climates. It will produce things like acid rain and things of that nature that are not going to be viable for life, you see? So how it relates to love is when you are recycling and cleansing the water, right? The energy, the flow from within you, and you are mindful about what it is that you're putting out into the universe from a place of self-love first recognizing, okay, whatever I receive, I have to understand that I must receive that and change that, recycle that energy from a place of love. Because when you take that energy and you hold it within yourself, you don't want to hold in the negative energy. You don't want to hold in the low vibrational frequency, right? So you must transform that frequency. You must transform that energy. And when you transform that energy, that is the first practice that is essentially self-love. And it is unconditional because no matter what comes your way, you take it. No matter what comes your way, you take it, you change it, you transform it, right? You transmute it into something positive, and then you put that out into the world, into the universe, and thus the universe will return more of that same energy back to you. You are the filtration system. A lot of people think that something else is going to do that, to give that to God, to give that to the universe. Well, you must take responsibility for yourself and what you can do, and you can do all things. You must recognize the divinity within you in order to be able to acknowledge and understand that concept in order to do so. Your job is to filter out any negativity. Practice the tools of meditation, mindfulness, thoughtfulness, right? Be mindful about what you consume, whether it be media, whether it be food, whether it be your environment, your community, right? Be mindful about your body and your health. Do your best to just be a little bit better each day, right? To be conscious about what it is that you're putting out there. And then as you are continuing to build that consciousness, right? That God consciousness mentality, and you begin to put things out into the world on a positive scale, on a positive frequency, because of the law of oneness, that will eventually come back to you. Okay? It is your job, though, to transform that energy. No one else's job but yours. It is your job to absolutely take control of your reality. This is the act of true self-love. And when you take control over your reality, that means that you don't tolerate low vibrational frequencies into your world, but you only take in to be mindful about the fact that, okay, I can take this in, but I'm going to change this and I'm going to make this work for me and for all those who interact with me. Okay, so you take in what you can that you know you're able to transform. What you can't take in, then you simply just move away from it because you're not prepared. You don't have the skill set yet to bring that in and transform that energy. So you must understand that transforming energy is a skill set that you build upon. Okay, you take in what you can, you recycle that into positive energy, put it out into the world, it comes back to you, it continues to build you up, it continues to build up that muscle to be able to transform energy. And then the more you do that, then you can elevate to transforming other kinds of negativity, right? That you weren't able to transform before. And you take that and you continue to transform that energy. And guess what? Eventually you get stronger and stronger. Your reality becomes that by which you have truly built due to your ability to build your skills up to actually create that which you want. So be patient with yourself. A lot of times people think that transformation happens instantaneously, though it can. In many cases, yes, it will. But you must be patient in the process of allowing, surrendering, okay? And just trusting in your process. Soon as you trust in your process, you can say that is when the instantaneous change happens. But many of us don't trust in our process. We are just going through it thinking, okay, we'll see what happens here. Or we're thinking this isn't working, where there's a lack of faith. But you must understand that the faith is what is going to fuel your belief systems and is going to fuel the, being persistent in the movement toward self-realization. So remember, your vibration is going to determine the quality of your materialization. So even in life, when you think about material things, money, right? Tangible success, cars, homes, travel, lifestyle, those are all expressions of the vibration that you're putting out into the world, coming back to you in a physical, tangible way, because we are living in a physical, tangible reality or realm. Okay? So yes, all types of energy that you put out and recycle out into the universe is going to come back to you, and it's going to come back to you twice as good, right? 4 times as good. It's going to continue to compound. And your responsibility is to continue to take that energy or any kinds of energy, transform it, put it back out into the universe with love, and it will come back to you with love. So recognize that your first objective in this journey is unconditional self-love. When you practice unconditional self-love, then the love that you put out there is returned to you by people, right? By ways of energy, experiences, synchronicity, materialization, manifestation. It all happens, but you must first start within. Thank you so much. Feel free to go to drabundant.com, subscribe to my daily newsletter, and get access to this free ebook, The Power Within. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.